Huniepop. That's pronounced with a Gotta admit, this is the first dating sim I've ever played professionally, but do not fear, I am fully aware that my usual skill set isn't going to apply in this review. These games are made for a very specific audience and for a very specific reason, so trying to grade Huniepop on its gameplay or production values isn't going to cut it here. Or will it? See, I went into this with a certain level of expectation, a preconception of exactly what was waiting for me. What I got was a very well-executed experience with enough care, thought, and substance behind it to actually qualify as a traditional game. That still doesn't mean I can recommend it to everybody, based on the premise and subject matter alone, but for those of you in the market for this kind of title, prepare to be, like me, pleasantly surprised. First things first, this game allows you to play as both a man and a woman. That's incredibly open-minded of you guys. I'm impressed. But no matter which gender you choose, the story is the same. You're sitting in a bar, you are drunk, awkward, and most importantly, single. This is why you catch the eye of a love fairy named Q, who vows to help you catch the woman of your dreams and spend many a sweet night with her. One thing you'll notice almost immediately is that this game is incredibly self-aware, and the dialogue reflects that. Q does not pull punches in doing her job. In fact, if this chick had to be held responsible for all the hilariously insensitive things she says over the course of this journey, you'd be on your own. The various personalities you'll try to seduce also reflect this mentality, in that while they are playing into stereotypes, you will be surprised on occasion, and laughing hysterically when it happens. And now's a good time to discuss the voice acting, because you'll notice that it's all in English. Huniepop is a kickstarted game, meaning it's an anime dating sim that was conceptualized and produced right here in the US. Positives. The directors really knew how to make each character shine in their role, making for some very entertaining and well-realized personalities, with writing that lets them deliver lines you'd actually expect to hear from real people. Negatives? Actually, there are none. This is just really good voice acting. Even Nikki's ho-hum and lackadaisical delivery feels like it's completely on purpose, and the desire to woo her is a lot stronger for it. So how do you go about the business of seducing these fine young ladies? Well, there are two major ways to interact with the targets of your affection: meetings and dates. During meetings, you discuss various subjects, from facts about you to facts about her, and you want to remember any details about her because she might ask you about them again later. You also want to avoid accidentally asking her about the same detail twice, because she will catch you on that and you will get flack for it. The reason you want to make sure meetings go well is because productive conversations help you build a resource called Honey. Honey can be spent to improve various aspects of yourself, from your romantic charm to your natural talent, and even your sensitivity or luck. However, you can't just build Honey indefinitely. She will get hungry eventually, which means you'll either have to pony up some cash for a bite to eat, or move on to another location to chat with someone else, and the only way to get more money is to go on a date. Dates are where the main gameplay of Huniepop lies. You're presented with a board that has various colored orbs on it. Match 3 in a row to build up your date's affection towards you. Fill up their affection bar completely to win the stage, get closer to her, and fill your wallet back up. Here's where it starts getting interesting. Certain women prefer certain traits, so depending on who you're going for, you might want to focus spending your honey on a particular trait over others, because the closer you get to her, the better you'll have to do on a date to leave a lasting impression, and these bonuses will make or break you. To make things even more interesting, there are 3 other special icons on your board: hearts, broken hearts, and tears. Hearts raise your passion level, which starts at 0 at the beginning of every date, but once increased, will provide a passive bonus for all the matches you make from that point on. Opposite those, we have the broken hearts, which you do not want to match under any circumstance. They will eat a significant chunk out of your affection meter, so avoid them like the plague. But even if your board starts to overflow with broken hearts, don't fret. You've probably matched some teardrops up to that point, and those represent sentiment. Sentiment can be spent to give your date gifts, and each gift activates some kind of special power on the board, such as turning all your broken hearts into normal ones. The catch to all of this is that you only have a limited number of moves to fill up the bar before the date is over, so making smart matches is a lot more beneficial than making quick matches. But if you're running low, there are bell symbols you can match to buy yourself some more time. Now, believe it or not, there is a variation on this. If you get close enough to any particular woman and go on a successful date at night, she'll come back to your place with you, and you can probably guess what happens next. Unlike dates, where it's about making the right moves in the right situation, the sex version of Huniepop is about matching as fast as possible. I believe the joke is something along the lines of, if you're not going fast enough to satisfy her, you'll need to pick up the pace. And yes, even though you don't see them in motion, there are naughty bits in this game. Your efforts at seduction are rewarded with a few sensual selfies, and you even get the option to date Q once you've successfully made love at least once. And in my opinion, that in itself makes the whole journey worth it. How do you beat a dating sim that lets you romance a woman that is aware that she's in a dating sim? Hell, at one point, she literally says,
"Come on, seduce me with your sexy puzzle skills."
You laugh, but mark my words, someday I will get that phrase tattooed on my arm. But what's disappointing to me is that this means that sex is essentially the end of the relationship. You can go do the deed again later if you wish, but from what I can tell, there's no proper ending to any of these routes. You can't choose to spend the rest of your life with any of these women, meaning the ultimate goal seems to be rocking the bed with all 9 of them. The problem with that being that I'm a reasonable human being, and therefore am seriously not interested in some of these people, even when promised poontang for putting up with them. Come on, guys, you're not BioWare. Give me something substantial here. After all, you got everything else right. In my opinion, though, that's Huniepop's only misstep. I am unironically impressed with this game. The writing is legitimately funny, the voice acting is great, I got to meet some very pleasant people, some being the key word. I got to scratch my itch for puzzle games and RPGs both at once. I had a great time, and it'll only set you back $10. The only other negative thing I can say about this game is that it'll make me disappointed to play whatever visual novel style game I pick up next because I know it won't be as good. So lock your door, switch off the lights, turn your speakers down, and lean way back in your chair, because Huniepop is totally worth your time.